Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and this is our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 422. Welcome! If you are not already a subscriber, I encourage you to hit that little heart somewhere in this general vicinity. Put your mouse over the top of it, a subscribe bar will come up, and just subscribe to our channel. We would so greatly appreciate it. Every Saturday morning, it's another Saturday with Stacy YouTube class. They are full-length, technique-based, commercial-free classes that hopefully will inspire you to try something new or get out some of that product you bought ages ago and say, oh yeah, that's why I bought that. This is how I use it. Let's play. Now today I've been talking about in my sneak peeks, it's either the land of misfit or a match made in heaven. I'm not 100% sure. You're going to have to tell me whether you think it was Rockstar or you think I just took it off the crafty deep end. Could be either. I have got product from Couture Creations and Stampendous for you, mixed in with a few little things from other manufacturers. But there's a reason why they're from the land of misfits or they're going to be a match made in heaven. And I'm going to tell you about that after I do our winner chicken dinner. Now, I also want to let you know, because of supply chain issues, we are shipping YouTubes out of order. Just know that we are shipping, if we have all the product for a YouTube and it's here ready to go, we are shipping those orders as quickly as we possibly can. So it is highly likely that you're going to get a newer order before an older order if all the product is not here yet. Just keep that in mind and know that, well, the skeleton crew here just keeps on pushing through and doing our very best, and that is all because of your support and your kind words and your encouragement. Just keep going. We're just gonna keep going. Now, our winner chicken dinners, I have 2 of you this week, and these are people who are a subscriber to our YouTube channel. Don't forget there's a little heart over here to subscribe. They posted a comment below on this YouTube. The comment was polite, I approved it, and then they went into the running for a winner chicken dinner prize, which is $25 to their online account. And gosh, who doesn't want free money to spend? Hello. So our first winner is, I can say both of these names. Laura Joyce. Congratulations, Laura Joyce. Is that you? Because if it is, you have just won yourself a winner chicken dinner $25 gift card. Wahoo Kachoo. You know what? My phone, hello. Let's just get that going. I need to, wait a minute, there we go. I need to get it so that I don't, did you hear it goes bzzz, bzzz? I hope not, because it drives me crazy. Okay, Laura Joyce, I shouldn't have taken away from you. That's you. Congratulations. Well done, my dear. You probably never thought you were ever going to hear your name, and now you have. Did you stand up? Are you going to stand up for the winner chicken dinner dance? I sure hope so, but you're not alone. Our second winner is Becky. Hello, Becky. I love the name Becky. Becky Hammond. Hello, Becky Hammond. How are you doing today? Congratulations to you. That is a wahoo kachoo. Are you standing up getting ready to do the winner chicken dance? Well, you and Laura both have a $25 gift card already in your online account. Go spend it any way that will make your heart happy. And gosh, if you use your money right, especially with this YouTube, I've got product that retails for $19.99 down to $3.99. I have product that retails for $10 down to $3.99 unless you do the I Want It All bundle, and then it brings it down to $2.99. You could take that $25 and go a really long. You could turn that $25 into like $100 if you play your cards right and you buy the right product. Now let's do our winner chicken dance for you. Are you ready? You're a winner chicken dinner. You're a winner chicken dinner. Wahoo kachoo for you. Congratulations, girls. You don't have to do anything. It's already taken care of, and I hope you have a good time spending your money. I know for me, when I get a gift card, it's like the hardest thing to do because because I go to spend it, but then I really have to, I put things in my cart, and then I take things out of my cart, and then I put something else in my cart, and then I take it out of my cart, and then I put something else in my, it's hard to decide. But hopefully today's class makes it easy for you. Now, I said we're either talking about the Land of Misfits or a match made in heaven. And let me tell you a little bit about the product that I have for you today. They weren't meant to go together. It was never meant to go together. I received a phone call from Stampendous a while ago from Peggy. Bring, 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 bring. Hi, Stacy. It's Peggy at Stampendous. Well, hello, Peggy at Stampendous. How are you? Well, let me tell you. We just found a bunch of product that doesn't have the match for it. Doesn't have the match for it? What are you talking about? Well, we found a bunch of our dies that had matching stamps, but no longer have matching stamps, but we still have the dies. Would you be interested? So you have dies that were meant to have stamps, but now you don't have the stamps anymore, but you have the dies and you want to get rid of the dies? Yep, that's it. And I'm like, okay, well, why don't you send me one of each and let me look at them and I'll let you know. So she sent them to me, and that's what's here in front of me. And I kind of didn't do anything about it. Didn't do anything about it until like recently, like really recently, when bring, 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 bring. Hi, Stacy, it's Ozzy Andrew. Hi, Ozzy Andrew. How are you doing today? Well, you know that tin can story you told a while back? I have another tin can for you. What? Yes, I have another tin can product for you. Oh, Ozzy Andrew. What happened? Well, these were on the exact same shipment as the others, and we just started to go through them and found the exact same problem. Do you think your customers would be interested in them if I gave them a smoking hot price like I did last time? Maybe. Send me one of each and I'll let you know. So I get the product from Stampendous, and I get the product from Couture Creations, and they don't come on the same day. They don't even really, one was 1 week, the other was the other week. And then I sat down not knowing, not thinking to put them together, and then it was like, psh, these are going to work like magic together. These are going to do so well together. And even if you don't love these items, the concept is going to work well for all of you. That it's like, like I said, Land of Misfit Toys or Match Made in Heaven. I'm not sure. By the time we're done with this YouTube class, you're going to have an answer for me and tell me yes or no. I do need to tell you, though, these products are limited. Limited. When I start with that, it's because I mean it. It isn't because I want you to go rush and buy everything. You don't have to buy anything, nothing at all. But if you are interested in any of these products, you need to get them sooner than later because they're limited. Some of them we have less than 50 of, some of them we have 100 of, some of them we have 200 of, but they're limited. So when they are gone because for each manufacturer, they were their misfits. And we're taking their two misfits and putting them together to make a match made in heaven. So I'm gonna show you some samples, and then I'm gonna show you the product, and I'm gonna tell you about the deals, and then we're gonna start in the class. And we're gonna start super simple, and we're gonna get progressively more technique-y. And it definitely is a technique-based class. And you do kind of have to forget that there's a box. There's no box. What box? No, no, no. We don't craft inside anybody's box. We create our crafts. We decide what boundaries we're willing to push it to and what we're willing to try, because today it's all, we're playing on black and white paper, and I know you've got that. So we're gonna kind of stretch the limits of what you would think go together and find that gosh, two peas can absolutely find the same pod without question, even if they're from different manufacturers. So, all right, I'm going to tilt down. I'm going to tell you, all of this is like flash sale priced, and yeah, like really great pricing. So you decide. You don't have to get anything. You don't have to shop at all. You can just learn every technique that I plan on showing you today, and then going into your crafty arsenal, pulling out similar items and start playing right away. Or you could say, I kind of like that. For that price, I think I'll buy it, because you weren't going to buy it for the original price. Or you could say, gosh, I'm going to hoard those and I'm going to use them as gifts throughout the year to my friends. Entirely up to you. You decide. It's all, you've got options. All right, so I'm going to tilt down. I'm going to show you some samples. Then I'm going to show you the product that's on sale. Well, the product that's limited, that's on sale, and we'll go from there. It's good to see everybody. Down we go. Bye. Bring, 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 bring. Sometimes my phone, it's like it just rings. It always makes me happy when a manufacturer calls and says, Stacy, would you be interested in? It's like, I don't know, would I? Okay. Look at how cute is this. So the background is part of the flash sale. The bird and the leaves are part of the flash sale, and the hello is another die set that we have that we'll have on sale for you as well. Not part of the flash sale, but not a bad deal in itself. Pretty, right? But then I have, ooh, look at that. Is that beautiful? Look at how gorgeous is that. And again, this is all part of the flash sale. So pretty. But wait. Look at that. We are absolutely going to go on a perfect adventure today, without question. Look at how fabulous is that. Okay, let's talk product, just so you know ahead of time. To start with, Stampendous sent me, well, they called me and they said, Stacy, we have all of these dies that do not have a matching stamp. Look at how, wait till you see the samples with this one. We have all of these dies that do not have matching stamps to go with. Can you do something with the dies? Oh, you bet we can. Look at the birds. Oh, you bet we can. Now, when these dies were new, you could buy it for $19.99. Not the die and the stamp for $19.99. The die alone sells for $19.99, and the stamp was another $12. Now we just have the die. And we can't do an I want it all because I have only so many of one and more of another. See, there's the lighthouse and the mountains. There's the lighthouse and the mountains and the birds. There's the birds. There's the birds. So, where was I? Oh, look at that one. So we don't have the stamps, we only have the dies, and instead of $19.99, how about $3.99? Right? How about $3.99? Any of these are going to be $3.99. Like, amazing, right? And wait till you see what we do with them. Again, some of them we have way more than others. Some of them we have less than like 50. So I can't do an I want it all. You just have to pick the ones you want. But for $3.99, that is a rock star deal. This is Misfit number 1. Misfit number 2 comes from Couture Creations, and it was part of the same shipment that they received in. I know you guys are receiving them now. We did it had the dies, the stencils, the stamps, dies, stamps, stencils. What else was in there? In that, there was a 4-pack. And we did the bundle for you, and it was amazing. So it had layering stencils with the die that cut everything out and the stamp that did everything. It was a phenomenal deal. Well, these were in the same shipment and have the same problem. These are full 5x7 stamps that work beautifully. I mean, they're gorgeous stamps, but they have a little itty bitty problem coming off the liner, just like the stamp did in those sets that we sold you. So remember my tin can story? Same thing. Nothing wrong with the stamps, just a little bit of a problem getting it off of one side of the liner. Some of them came out great, and others we struggled with. So Ozzy Andrews said, well, do you think your customers would be interested in 5x7 background stamps at a smoking hot deal? I said, well, I don't know. But then I put, okay, so what's the smoking hot deal? So he's going to rerun them, and I think they're going to go out at $10 each. We're doing them at $3.99 unless you buy. With the stamps, I do have it, and I want it all. You want to buy all 10 background stamps? I believe the price that we're allowed to go out at is $29.99 for all of them. All of them for $29.99. Again, they're beautiful stamps. They work gorgeous. I mean, they really do. Let's see. See the lighthouse again? That stamp is right there. So if you love just this one, it's $3.99. But if you love a few of them, well, then the bundle for $29.99 is definitely the way to go. See the background here? The wood background? Well, that's that stamp right there. Let us do the wood background. So these are the misfits that came to me at different times from different manufacturers that I think we can pair these together and make something amazing. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to get started for today. I need to keep these because this is the only set I have. And I can put these here because I've got my set that's already open. All right, we're also going to be playing with Ozzy Andrew Couture Creations Mica Pigment Powders. These are very much like a perfect pearl. Very much like a perfect pearl. And if you have perfect pearls, then you are already ready to go. Ozzy Andrew only sells 11 colors of them, and we no longer carry Ranger product because we want to support the manufacturers who support us. So Ozzy Andrew has got 11 colors of perfect pearl, and we're gonna, well, it's not perfect pearl, it's pigment mica. Ranger sells perfect pearl, and we're gonna be using these today. Again, I'm gonna start so super easy. I better turn these over because the lid, the top is the lid. Don't open them back upside down. If you need to be able to see the label, that's your lid. Otherwise it's gonna dump everywhere. So I'm gonna start super easy, and I'm gonna start with the stamps. And literally I'm just going to stamp them. Let's see, do I have a black? Yes, I do, right there. Thank you very much. I think I'm just gonna grab, well, let me open a new one for you, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So these came in with that same shipment, and one side of the liner You need to give it a good tug, but it definitely will peel off. It is the other side that is struggling to come off. Too much heat, too much pressure. Now you may be able to soak this or heat it a little to get it off. We have them at the ridiculously low price of the $3.99 or $29.99 for all 10 because of this problem. And remember, it's a dented can. The stamp is beautiful. Stamp is great, no problem with the stamp. But getting that background off is a little bit of a chore. And so I'm just gonna leave that carrier, they call it a carrier, that extra piece of acetate. I'm just gonna leave it there and I'm not gonna worry about it at all. If I wanna use a stamp positioner, I'm just gonna take a little piece of double-sided tape and put that into my stamp positioner so it stays in place. I'm gonna be stamping upside down today for the most part because this is a big stamp. It's a 5x7. That's enormous. That's such a wonderful size. It gives you the opportunity to do so much with it. You can do A2, you can do A6. I mean, you really have a lot of opportunity. So one side, got to give it a little bit of a tug. One side's going to come off. And the other side is going to be a little more of a challenge. And I'm just going to leave it. I'm not willing to try and tug it off. I'm happy with the way they are, and I'm going to use them the way they are. Okay, so first things first, I think I'm just going to stamp with a couple of them just so you can see how they look. Let's grab maybe this one and that one. So I'm just going to ink them up, and I've got my Hero Arts India ink. I'm just going to cut this in half. I'm just using basic white cardstock. All I want to do is give you an idea of what they look like. So I'm not using a gush pad because I'm stamping upside down. And put my paper down. Give a nice back rub. Again, if you have a stamp positioner, all you have to do is take a little piece of double-sided tape, put that in your positioner so that it will go back and forth when you open it. And done. So pretty stamp, right? Pretty stamp. Let's see what my bricks look like. So if you've never seen stamping before, this is a clear acrylic stamp. It's meant to be used again and again and again. I'm using a Hero Arts dye-based ink. I'm stamping upside down as opposed to taking this and putting it that way and pressing. I'm stamping upside down because this is a larger stamp and I want to make sure that I don't get any holes. It's easy for me to do if you have one of those glorified, air hockey puck thing that to help you if you can't flatten your hands, you can rub that over it. Let's see what we get. Oh, nice and distressed. Perfect. Just what we're looking for. So stamping is a very easy thing to do. And again, because the liner won't come off, you don't, oh, see this one? Look at this one's coming. Oh yeah, look at that one. That one's coming off pretty easy. Some of them you're going to find are going to come off easy. Some of them you're going to tug at and you're just not going to worry about it. So I'm leaving my liner on and stamping upside down. Typically, you would, yes, peel this off and attach it to a clear acrylic block and stamp that way. But again, it's a big stamp. Even if I attach this to a clear block, there's a good chance that I would stamp upside down only because I get a better impression because I can rub better. So stamps are meant to be used in your toolbox forever. How do you clean them? Just a wet baby wipe. I get the non-scented ones from like Sam's Club, Costco, Dollar Store, whatever. And my stamps are clean. But what if I want to do something more with them? What if I just don't want to do black stamping, black ink, or a single color ink? Because I could come in and do, let's see, I could come in, this is a Hero Arts cube. I could come in and just do a single color. Let's see what we get. This is a big stamp. So a larger stamp pad would be a little easier to ink it, but I use what I got, and I've got these. And again, this is just a dye-based ink. So what dye-based inks do you own? If you own Tim Holtz or Lawn Fawn or Hero Arts or Memento, whose dye-based ink do you use? You're not limited to just their ink. If you want to mix some Tim Holtz with some Hero Arts, with some Memento, as long as it's all dye-based ink, you're picking the color of your ink. They're all gonna play in the sandbox well together. You don't have to feel like you can only buy one manufacturer's ink. If it's a dye-based ink, pick the colors you like and then play. So here again, I'm stamping upside down. So you have to know when you're buying these, you have to know that that liner on one side may or may not come off. Yeah, this one isn't gonna happen. This one's a no-go. But does that mean that the stamp is bad? No. Just means we have to work with it in a, oh yeah, look at that. That's gorgeous. Love that. Yay. Okay, that's a pretty color. That looks really good. Like that a lot. So let me wipe it on down. So that's just single color stamping, which is beautiful. But maybe you want to be a little more adventurous. Maybe you've just started stamping, and I guarantee you after you do about a dozen of these in single colors, you're going to start going, what else can I do? So what if I were to take this set and what if I took it and I started with my cornflower, which is a really pretty blue, and I just went and I just hit the whole thing in cornflower. Just the whole thing. Now this is a felt pad, not a foam pad. So Hero Arts and Memento, for their cubes, they use a felt pad, which I like better because it holds up when you're doing a drag. And when I'm talking about drag, I mean coloring onto my stamp. A foam pad, you may find yourself going, sound effects required. You know, it's kind of stuttering across, and you may end up taking that foam pad and starting to peel it off. Okay, so I added some, it's not going to happen with a felt pad. Love the felt pads. I added a little bit of cornflower. Now, what if we added a little bit of, I don't know, navy? It's kind of dark, but hey. And I just put some down. And then how about some grape jelly or grape juice, some purple. And then I think I'm going to come back with my cornflower, my lightest color, and I'm just going to spounce a little bit. Just spounce it just a little bit. And you're like, oh, but Stacy, oh no, you're blending, you're getting purple all over that pad. Wait, I know, it's okay. So now let's put our paper over the top. Oh, I did the whole thing. Well, my hands are going to get a little inky, but okay. Put our paper over the top. and give a good press. How about if I took some paper towels and put that down, and now I can really give a good press because I don't have to worry about my fingers getting inky. Now, honestly, I don't mind that my fingers get inky. But for the rest of you, if you do, there. If you're using a stamp that is bigger than your piece of paper and you ink up the whole thing like I just did, that's an easy way to fix the problem without getting inky. I don't mind being inky. Okay, shall we see what we have? Ooh, what do we think of that? Okay, that's very pretty, right? So from just a plain black stamp to a colored stamp to blending my colors and mixing my colors. So you've just, if you're a newbie to crafting, you've just advanced yourself like that. No big deal. In fact, let's do this one. And let me wipe this one down. Let's do that one so that you have a really good comparison. Or maybe I can just, no, let's just do that one. Okay, so wipe that off. Let's bring that one back out. I already have done it in black. Let's just do it in a solid color now, right? Just a solid color. How about royal red? So I'm just going to ink the whole thing up. This time I'll only do half. And let's grab a piece of white paper, cut it in half, and bam. Good press. Bam, one color. So I've got my black and I've got my red. Now let's expand on it. And wipe it off. And let's start with maybe my lemon yellow. And then maybe let's go to my pale tomato. And then maybe my royal red. And then come back with my lemon yellow. Just kind of bounce it in, and you're going to be, oh, but you're going to get it all red. I know, I see that there's red there. But the benefit is all I have to do is that. And once my red is gone, my pad is clean again. Done. Let's see how well I did. So pretty. Okay, that's a little bit of happiness right there. So from just plain black to plain red to a blend of colors. You just graduated from beginning stamper to, well, a little bit more advanced stamper, and all I used were 3 colors. Now remember, I had a little purple on this blue. I'm going to do the same thing. Once my purple wipes off, I'm good to go. Purple's gone. and I'm good to go. That's what I love about the felt pads and about the Hero Arts inks, is that it lets you go ahead and mix the colors without destroying the pads. It's really nice. So, easy peasy with some beautiful stamps. And because they're 5x7, you have the opportunity to make larger cards, larger mats, mini albums, junk journals, all sorts of stuff, because they are a little bit bigger. I just want to make sure that everybody understands when you are buying these. Let's see which one. When you are buying these, they are a dented can. If you don't know why I keep saying dented can, you got to go back and find that story. There's nothing wrong with them. One side's going to peel off AB. Oh, look at that. ABC 1, 2, 3. Well, see, on this side, you may get some that peel on both sides. I don't know. I'm just assuming that they're all going to stick. I bet I can get this one off. But I'm going to assume that they are all going to stick and that you are going to have to take them and use them that way. So I've got my yellow. And then maybe a little bit of tomato. And maybe a little, I'll do a little royal red. And then come back with my yellow and just kind of bounce it over, and it kind of blends all those colors. And since this one is a 5x7, let's just use a big piece and see what I get. You've got oodles of white paper. All you can do is play and sit there and make background after background after background. Give a nice back rub. Again, if you've got the little thing that I don't know what they're calling it, anyway, it looks like a air hockey stick thing. I guess you could take a lid and go from one of your ink pads. It's whatever's going to work best for you to get some pressure down, to give a back rub. That's just the top of my hero. Ooh, so pretty. Can you see? All done with just a stamp and a couple inks. You got this. But we need to move on. We need to go forward and play a little bit more. So I'm going to wipe this one on down. And this is where the mica powders come in. So mica powders they're not like a pixie sparkle that Creative Expressions has. They're very much like a perfect pearl that Ranger has. Only these are by my friend Ozzy Andrew at Couture Creations. And again, he only makes 11 colors, which is kind of nice because I want to say Ranger maybe makes 40, 45 colors, something. I mean, they make a lot of colors. So he makes 11 colors. He picked the 11 colors that they thought you would use most, so that it's I don't know why they didn't go with 12 colors. I want to ask him that, because then it would just be an even 12, but okay, whatever. So 11 colors that give you a nice combination without having to have 40 colors in front of you. If you want 40 colors, by all means. Ranger makes a beautiful product. Creative Expressions has a mica powder, but we thought for crafters who want to play but don't want to buy into the full set syndrome. What is it? FSS, full set syndrome, where if they make 42, you have to have all 42. Here you can, because there's only 11. Isn't that nice? It's well confined and yet gives you a good opportunity to play. They retail for $3.99. They go a long way. It is a mica powder, and these jars were used to make all the samples that we have today, and we still have oodles left to play with. Oodles. Now, a lot of crafters will use something called a Versamark to put these down. Versamark is a watermark medium by Sukaniko. We use it when we throw embossing powder on top of it and then we heat it. But I'm not going to use Versamark with this. With Versamark, you tend to have to spritz your finished project with water to set it. I'm going to use an Essentials glue pad, which almost looks like a Versamark when you're using it, but it's not. This is actual glue. Now, when you buy it, it comes like this. And I can't tell you how many emails I've gotten over the years where people have said, I have that and I've never even opened it. Oh my gosh, this is one of my go-tos. This is like a must-have. And I don't say that often, that it's a must-have. Also, the turbo spray bottle from Couture Creations. That's a must-have. This is an amazing spray bottle. But this glue pad does so much, and I have used it in so many classes over the years. When you buy it, look at how pretty. It's empty. There's nothing on it. Remember, it comes packaged with this little bottle. This little bottle is not a refill. You don't empty this whole little bottle on here and then think you're gonna come back 6 months later and it's gonna be all nice and juicy. That's not gonna happen. This little bottle is glue, and you only put enough on your glue pad for what you're doing that day, or even that moment. You may have to keep adding a little bit. It also has this little clear hat to it, and this little hat or lid is what goes back on it to keep the pad nice and airtight. Now, that was a pretty pad. Look at how pretty it is. Look at it, because nobody's ever done anything to it. But now we'll look at my pad that I use. Yeah, that's what mine looks like. It's got little bits of stuff in it, and it's changed color because I probably got some mica in there, and it does have glue in it, but there's probably not enough there to do what I want to do right now. So this glue pad, you only use enough for the application that you're going to do, and it works just like an ink pad, very much like an ink pad. Let's see, what stamp do I want to play with? I haven't played with this one. Let's try that one, and then maybe we will do this one. Well, I don't know. I have lots to play with. I have oodles to play with. Okay, so I've got my stamp here. It's still on the liner, although, oh, this one may come off. Oh, look, they may be able to get this one off. You just never know. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to take my glue. Oh, I got lots of bottles. And once you run out of this bottle, you don't buy the whole set again. You just buy a refill. That's all you do. You just buy a refill. You use this pad until you just can't use it anymore. And mine, my old one was so bad, and I was so proud of it. But mysteriously, it disappeared. I'm not sure if the SMS girls finally said, okay, we need a new one, and I don't know what happened, but it just mysteriously disappeared. Now see, I'm just putting a little bit of glue, and then I'm just kind of moving it around. And then I'm going to add my glue to my stamp. This is a water-soluble glue, so a baby wipe will clean it off. Probably got plenty there. Fingers are sticky. Let's take a piece of black paper this time. And well, I feel guilty using this whole sheet, but okay. And let's give a press. Now I'm transferring the glue off the stamp onto my black sheet of paper. I haven't done anything I didn't already show you. We used stamp pads to do this that had color on them. This time I'm just using a glue instead of an ink. Nothing different. And bam. Now, this is where it becomes kind of like a Versamark. If this was a Versamark ink, which is a water mark type of ink, or an embossing medium, I could throw embossing powder on top of this if this was Versamark, take my heat tool and heat that embossing until it goes from a solid to, or a powder into a solid. This is glue. It has the same look because it looks wet on the black paper, but it behaves differently. This I need to let go tacky. I need to let it go tacky. So you know what, while we're here, I don't know, we're gonna just see. All we can do is see, right? I'm not gonna re-ink. I'm not gonna add more glue to here. I'm just gonna go over this quick. And go here and give a good press. And let's see what we've got. Okay, so it's not quite as wet as this one, but you still can see the image. This time I'm not going to add any glue, none. And let's see what we get. Maybe I'll use my India ink, the lid, just to give me a little extra effort in pushing down. A little easier for my hand to hold if I can't lay my hands out flat. Use what you got. And still, you can see it. It's there. Very light, but it's there. Now I need to let these go tacky. So I don't want to throw my mica powder on here right away. I want them to go tacky. And obviously, the less glue that it has on it, the quicker it will be tacky because it doesn't have to dry as much. I'm going to put those there. And which one do I want to do? I think maybe while those are drying, maybe I do that one and this one. So I'm going to wipe this one down, get the glue off. Remember, water soluble. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink this one up. Ink it up. I'm going to glue it up. This time I will need to add a little bit of glue because there's no glue on this at all yet. Come on. Am I out? Let's try the other one. There we go. Just a little bit. Can you see? There's not that much on there. I can always add glue, but you never can get it out of the pad. So you only want to use as much as you really need. So I've got these drying over here. 1, 2, 3. Glue this thing up. Think that's good? Let's try. This time I'm going to take a little bit of white paper and a little bit of black paper. And kind of do halfsies. So I'll have some on white and some on black. And give a good press, nice back rub all over. And I'm not pressing down so hard, I'm just making sure that my hands are flat and I hit all my areas. It's not about the pressure so much as making sure that you don't miss any space. And like I said, if you can't get your hands flat, that's usually where something like this, something as easy as the top of your stamp pad, will make it a little easier to make sure you didn't miss anything. All right, let's see what I got. So on the white, it's a little more difficult to see, but there it is. And on the black, a little easier to see. And again, I'm going to set these aside and I'm going to let them go a little tacky. And while those are going tacky, I'm going to do one more, and I think I'm going to do it in colored paper. Wipe this one off. You could absolutely put these in your sink with some mild dishwashing detergent if you would prefer, like Palmolive or Dawn. Baby wipe works for me. I think I'm gonna take, let's see, what kind of paper do I have? What if I did the wood one in the brown paper? Let's grab the wood. And let's see how much I have on here. Oh yeah, I still have ink or glue. And let's cut my paper in half. And let's try that. So this is the Sizzix paper. They're 80-pound cardstock. One side of it has a texture, kind of a canvasy texture. One side is smooth. I'm going to use the smooth side. Put it down. Good all over press. Save my brown paper. And let's see what we've got. Oh, look at the wood. That looks good. Okay, so again, has to go tacky. Now the ones that have been sitting there, they're definitely ready to play with. The first ones that I did. And if I let my glue dry on my stamp, is that a problem? No. To be quite honest with you, I most often when I'm not in front of a camera, when I'm just doing my thing and I'm playing, I normally don't clean my stamps. I know. Shh, don't tell anybody. Okay, so there we go. Now I've got my first 3 that I did. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And let's play with them. Let's grab some mica and let's do one. Let's do one just straight color, just one color. I'm going to take a paintbrush, open it up, and powder. Dip my paintbrush in the powder. I'm not getting it wet. And I'm just going to kind of get it all over. Kind of get it all over. So I'm just trying to hit where that glue is. And because it's a glue, that means I don't have to go back and set my powder, my mica powder. When I was at CHA, which is now Creativation, one of the very first years I was there, and maybe it was even Memory Trends, maybe it was even long before Creativation, I remember there was nobody around me. And I was by the Ranger booth and they were doing a demo on, in fact, I think it was Tim himself who was doing the demo on Perfect Pearl. And I was just mesmerized by it. But I remembered at the end, they always recommended that you kind of mist it with water to set it. And that was the go-to for years and years and years. But then the Essentials glue pad came along, which lets you do the same thing, gives you the same look without having to mist because it's a glue. So now that I've got it kind of all over, now I can move it around and make sure that it's hit all the places. My brush is fine, it's not wet. And then I can take my big brush, because that's where I'm at. I can take my big makeup brush for $1 and go in there. And because it's a glue, I can really go in there and brush it off. And it's done. So pretty, so easy. And it's a glue. Okay, are you watching that? Ta-da! Look, Ma, no mess. Because I used a glue. The Essentials glue pad is the best. But then we have this one. And what if we did this one, maybe a couple different colors? Maybe we do this one in some gold. And this time I might take a tipped brush because I want to go in there and still no water. I want to go in there and I want to put my gold kind of in the same place on every little motif. I'm just going to put my gold kind of in the same place in every little motif. So if I have a flat brush, that makes it a little more difficult. And of course, now I can't see. And I need this one. And I need this one. And that one. Okay, and then maybe I take a little bit and I do just a little bit of the tips. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm deciding where to put my perfect pearl. Well, not perfect pearl. I gotta stop saying that. My pigment powders. This is not a Ranger product. This is a Couture Creations product. So what if I just went and put a little bit of gold around some of these? And just painted it on with powder, no water at all. Is that good? Do I have all of them? All right, well, I'm just going to play. Oh, that one there needs to be done. And then I come back in with a totally different color. What if I came back in with like the purple? Same brush because I didn't get it wet. And I just pick some up. Now I just kind of dust it around. And I'm putting it where I can see the watermark, the glue mark. And I'm just adding it in. And it doesn't take much, and I'm moving it around so that anywhere there's glue is getting some of the powder. And they're going to kind of blend into each other and melt into each other. And then I can take my big brush and just kind of move it all over. Anywhere I can see or feel like it's still kind of sticky. See, down here I can tell it's still a little sticky. So I can take a little bit more and paint it on. Anywhere it feels just a little sticky. And then off it goes. So I can do it one color. I can play with color and do multiples. No fuss, no muss. It's not everywhere. It's not all over my hands. It's not all over my craft space. And it doesn't come off. That's the big thing about using the glue. This one's still a little tacky, but it doesn't come off. Amazing. But we still have one more that's been sitting over here of the same. And remember, I didn't add any more. I did this one just as the last resort, like to see what was left. So let's see what's left. And what colors do we want to do? How about like the blue and like this pink and maybe a little silver gray? know, what's the harm, right? It's only black paper. All we can do is try. So let's put down a little bit of pink. And I'm just going to kind of hit it. Because I'm going to want to kind of blend it all in together. I don't want to be specific where I put my color. I just want to make pretties. I don't want to think about it. I just want to play. Maybe you're making a background and you just need to incorporate these colors. Okay. Put my lids on. And get in there and brush away. Now, if you were using Versamark, you would not want to go in there as hard as this to brush it off, but because we're using glue, you absolutely can. Options. Oodles and oodles of options. Okay, but we still have more. I did this one in white and in black because I want you to see the difference. It's all about what colors you choose to use. The colors are going to look different on white paper versus black paper. So let's see. Let's do my lines. So my trellis part, see these lines coming down, kind of my trellisy part. Let's do those in gold. And I'm just going to kind of get it on there. And I'm just following the lines. Easier to see on a dark colored paper. The glue is easier to see than on a light colored paper, but if you can get a reflection of it, then you're good to go. Okay, so I've got those lines done. Now let's come and find them on my white piece of paper and do the same. It's a little bit harder to find. You have to find an angle so that the light's reflecting off of it. In case, unless you just go in there and you just do whatever colors and you're just going for it, then you don't have to find the angle. But I'm trying to put it in a specific place. And I'm just finding my trellis lines. And again, the colors that Ozzy Andrew chose were colors he thought would make a nice palette without having to have 42 colors. I'll tell you, my gut reaction was like, what? 11 colors? But then I kind of understood. It's like, well, yeah, we could have all those other colors, but really these are the colors that seem to be the ones everybody liked. So there it is on white. Now let's go in and we'll do a little bit of the center. And what color should we use? This is red. Let's see what the red looks like. Red and maybe, well, red? All right, well, it's only paper. Looks more coral to me, but now I'm just going to put some kind of in my center and in my center and in my center. So I didn't do the whole thing. I just kind of did my centers. Now let's come in here and find the same centers. I want you to see the difference between doing it on a white paper or a lighter paper versus a darker paper. Not that there's one that's right and wrong. It just depends upon the effect you're trying to go for. And I'm still not using any water. Okay? So now I've got it on both side by side. And now let's do our last color. And this one, we'll do the blue and see what happens. And I'm just going to come in here and kind of anywhere that there's still sticky, my blue is going to kind of adhere to. Anywhere that doesn't have any powder, my blue is just going to gravitate towards and want to stick. Because once I put that red and that gold on the glue, well, it took the stickiness away. So it's not going to blend as much. I'm going to keep that red, and I'm going to keep that gold, pretty much gold. It's wherever there is still exposed glue from my stamped image. And I'm just putting it down. Now I'm just blending it all. Woo! Pretty, right? Isn't that beautiful? But we have to finish this one. We've got to do the blue on this one. We want to do apples to apples, so you can see the difference of using different colored papers. Not that one is better than the other, they're just different. Really depends upon the effect you're going for. But I don't want you to think you can only use dark colored papers, because you can't. It's equally as beautiful, a little more subtle on the white paper. Maybe you're that crafter who loves the look, but you're a little more reserved, a little more subtle. It's not so bam in your face. So SMS girl Renee has her motto, when in doubt, bling it out. I'm sure she would be like, ooh. And well, I don't know. SMS girl Doris can tend to be a little more reserved, and she likes a little, a little softer. Both have that beautiful mica finish, almost like a foil, but a little different look. You still get the blue and the red and the gold, but which one do you like better? The good news is you can have both. I mean, that's just so pretty. And that's just so pretty. But what if we did it on a colored piece of paper like brown? Remember? Make sure I get my lids on. I'm the worst at doing that. Remember, this one's been sitting here all this time, just sitting here. Just sitting here. In fact, I think I'm going to cut it. It's gone tacky. How long can you let it sit? Oh my goodness, 30 minutes? You need to at least let it waft it or let it go tacky. If you waft it, maybe 3 minutes. You need to do, give it a few minutes. If you just want to let it sit, I'd say give it at least 5 minutes. If you do this, so the reason you need to let it go tacky is because the Essentials glue pad is a two-way glue. That means that if I put the glue onto paper, okay, so if I put the glue onto paper and used it just like a glue, I didn't wait for it to go tacky. I just put it down and I put this over the top and I wanted to glue these two together. While it is still wet like that, it will cement these together. It will act just like a normal glue does. But remember, normal glue, as it dries, it loses its tack to it. It stops being sticky and acts as a glue. This never fully dries until you put something on top of it. So by letting it go tacky, it still gives you the opportunity to glitter it or mica powder it like we're going to. And this time I'm going to use a flat brush because I think I'm just going to go over with one color. And we'll do the copper on one. So I just want to get it on there. It's not wet. I'm just kind of moving it around because my glue has gone tacky. So for a more subtle look, I went almost the same color. I went brown on brown. I'm using the copper mica powder on a brown piece of paper. And once I've got all that glue covered, then I can take and go woo and get all the extra mica off. But I did it I cut it in half. Let's see what it looks like if I do it in a darker color. Let's try the black. Can you see how long this will last you? Just kind of painting it on. Now you wouldn't want to, if your glue is still a little too wet, you're going to want to dab it on. But this has been sitting there long enough that I know I can kind of paint it on and my glue is not going to move. It's tacky in its place. It's exactly where it needs to be, but hasn't yet dried. Regular glue is made up of adhesive and water. And so glue dries as the water evaporates out of it. And different kinds of glue have different amounts of water. If you have a really runny glue, it could be that it has a high content of water, and you may want to be careful and make sure your paper doesn't warp if you use it. Everybody's glue is a little different, but there's definitely a water base to it. And so Ooh, look at that. So as that water evaporates, that's how glue dries. So then it's a matter of do we like that wood? Or do we like this one? And the beautiful thing is, the stamp is only $3. Is it $3.99? Unless you buy the I Want It All. They started at $10. Now they're down to $3.99 unless you do the I Want It All, and then you get all 10 for $29.99. Look at how beautiful. So we started way back here. Started way back here. Remember? Way back here with just using ink with Ozzie Andrews' Misfit stamps. His tin can stamps or dented can stamps. His dented can. And then we started to push the envelope a little bit and play with them and give you opportunities to use them in different ways that all look amazing. Whether it be on a white paper or a black paper or even colored cardstock. Winter, fall. Which one do you like? You can have them both. So then, that's taking the mica and using it as a powder. What if we wanted to use it as a paint? Can we do that? Sure, absolutely. Let's take and let's grab a little piece and I don't think I've used this one yet. Have I used this one? Maybe in the beginning. Well, we're going to use it again. So I'm going to mist this because it's a little wet on the back. I'm mist just to get it to lay down. All right, and this time I am going to need a paintbrush that's going to get wet. Not that one. Oh, it's dry by now. Okay, this one. So I'm going to take my turbo mister and I'm going to make a little puddle of water right there. Little puddle of water. Now, I stopped using the little cups to hold my water because I inevitably always ended up knocking them over. I'm just making a little puddle of water right on my craft mat and I'm calling it good. Now, let's grab the gold. Ooh, or do we grab the pearl? Decisions. Well, maybe we'll do them both. So I'll grab the gold. I'm going to grab a little bit of powder right onto my paintbrush and I'm going to put it right into that water. And I'm going to make a paint. Now, the more powder you use, the thicker it will become. It will become almost like a paste if you use a lot of powder. And then I can just paint it right onto my cardstock. And if I want it heavier, I put a little bit more in there. And as I'm putting more in there, it's becoming thicker and thicker and thicker. Entirely up to you. How I guess opaque you want it. Although if you go over this, it almost covers up that black. Okay. So I'm going to flip this over because it's starting to curl a little bit. I got a lot of water on there, and I'm just using 80-pound paper. So I'm going to do a little mist, and that's going to kind of help relax my paper back down. Okay. So now I've made this beautiful gold paper. And it's not like bright gold. It's not like gold shiny in your face. It's like mellow gold. It's like Egyptian gold. It's not so metallic that it's reflecting, but you definitely have that beautiful look to it. Now, what if I took my stamp and I put a little water on my stamp? Little water on my stamp. And then I took my paper. I turned my paper over and I laid it down on my wet stamp. I don't know, I might be too wet. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if I added too much water. And I want to give it a nice press. And I don't want to pull it up too fast. I want to give it time to sit there. Sit there and marry with the stamp. I want the paper and the stamp to get to know each other, to say, hey girl, hey. So I want to let it sit there for just a little bit. Make sure that I've pressed everywhere. Nice back rub. And let's see what I get. Ready? So I've put the texture of the stamp. It's so pretty. I probably could have used a little more water. Now can you see that it transferred onto my stamp? I don't know if I can pull it or not. Might be too wet. Ooh, okay, that looks really good too. It needs to dry. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. And it's just using the leftovers. I probably could have left this one a little bit longer and used a little bit more water to get a more defined look. But I like the texture of it. I like that it's no longer flat, but it's not embossed. But it has this vintage look to it because of the stamp that I used that gives it that vintage look without it being overdone. Sometimes you just need a little something simple to work with. You need a little something delicate. And both of these are just that, because that's definitely different than, let's say, that one. It's definitely softer, and you do get the pattern. You can see the pattern. And as it dries, because it's still a little wet, that metallic will continue to come up. Let's try this one again. I'm going to try this one again, and I'm going to use a little bit more water this time. So let's grab a piece of paper. Should we do it in the same color? Let's maybe even do it in a different color and see what happens. I don't think I've played with that green yet. Let's play with that green. Kind of give my brush a wash out. Although if a little bit of the gold gets in there, okay. Little pile of water, little puddle right there. And let's get the green. I tap it down so that anything in my lid goes right down into my jar. That way when I open it, it doesn't make a mess. grab some powder, put it in my water, mix it up. A little bit more powder. And just all over. And water. All right, that's good for me. And then I'm not even going to take the gold off, and maybe some of the gold will transfer. We'll just have to wait and see. So oh, I hope that's enough water. Time will tell. Put my paper down. And good press. And let the paper introduce itself to the stamp, and let that water act as a lift. It's going to dilute that mica and pick it up a little bit and expose that black paper through it. Should we go a little faster this time? See what happens. Ready? Oh, it's so pretty. And it did. It picked up a little bit of that gold. Do you see it? It's a totally different look. Completely different look. And because the stamp is big, you've got opportunity. Flip this over and give this just a little, oh, I moved it, Stacy. Spray a little bit on the back side just to get it to lay flat again. And when it dries, it'll dry flat, but I moved this one. Yeah, I did, I moved it. All right, c'est la vie. Easy come, easy go. Just white paper. But I think that's beautiful. And I think that's beautiful. And I think that's beautiful. All the different ways you can use these stamps and this powder. And we haven't even gotten into the dies yet. Okay, let's clean up. And let's do one where we mix the powders. So what if I took, okay, I've played with those. Let's take this one again. And let's grab a piece of black paper, and let's grab the purple. It may end up having a little bit of green in it, depending on if I don't clean my brush overly well. And spritz, and kind of spritz, and make a puddle. And should we do the pink or the red? No, let's try the purple. Put a little in there. Make my paint. Paint my paper. I think I'm just going to go that far down. And then what if I threw in some of the pearl color? Little bit of puddle. Little bit of mica. So these aren't like a brusho, and they're not like a pixie sparkle. They would most closely resemble a perfect pearl from Ranger. But these are by my friend, Aussie Andrew. So now I've got two colors going. And then what if I took this stamp, and this is the pretty florally one. Give a nice mist. And let's see what happens when I put this on top. Don't know what we're gonna get. You never know. It's always gonna be a surprise. You could just sit there and play all night long and still have powders left for the next year. Oh. So that's water down there, but let's trim it so you can see it. Look at how pretty the water acts as a lift. And of course, we're not using glue. But remember what I said in the beginning, where if you use a Versamark, you're gonna wanna spritz it with water to set it? Well, hello, we're using water. That means we're setting it at the time we're painting it, which means it's not gonna come all off in your hands. These are not like M&Ms. M&Ms really do come off it comes off in your hands, honest. But look at how pretty is that. And again, we haven't even die cut yet. Oh my gosh. But we've done so much with the stamps. There's so many opportunities for you. And you know, with stamps, it's always, so small stamps are great. There's a reason for them. But when you're talking about a background stamp, the bigger, the better, because then you have the opportunity to cut it to something smaller, not the stamp, the paper. So if I was using a stamp that was an image, like a flower or something like that, then you want to buy the size that makes your heart happy. But when you're doing something like a background, the larger the stamp, the better, because I can always stamp a full size and then cut it down to the size that I need. But if my stamp is only so big, it's harder to make it bigger and have it look like it was meant to be that way. Not to have any overlapping stamping issues, double stamping. So with background stamps, it's always nice to have it a bigger than you need, because you can always trim it down. It's kind of the same with adhesive. You know, if you have a piece something bigger than what you need, well, gosh, if you watched last week's YouTube, you saw why having a bigger piece of paper was better, because it made centering that shutter window so much easier. You cut your window, didn't matter if it was slightly askew, because you put it on your card, flipped it over, and because it was bigger, you were able to trim it down. Sometimes you do want to have things that are slightly larger than you would normally use, because then you have more options. And at $3.99 for the stamps, or Gosh, it's $2.99. They're $2.99 if you get, yeah, is that $2.99 if you buy the I Want It All? You just can't go wrong. So pretty. We've done so much with these stamps already, but now it's time to bring in the dies for a few minutes, shall we? So let me push this out of my way, and let me bring this over. So we stamped, and we inked, and we inked, and we stamped with multiple colors. And we stamped with multiple colors. So pretty. And then we perfect pearled. Well, not perfect pearl. I gotta get out of saying that. I'm gonna get in trouble. So we pigment mica from Ozzy Andrew. You need to name these something. Name them something so I have something to call them. In the different pigment micas, the powders. We use these as powder. No water in any of these. Just the glue. And then we started playing with making them into a beautiful paint. Then we started to do that. And then we lifted the image to give a totally different look. I think I'm going to keep some of these. So now we have the dies to play with. And you're like, but okay, but they don't have the matching stamps. I know they don't have the matching stamps. This is where your creativity needs to bloom. This is where you need to have the confidence to try. What if I took, this one? Let's start with that, because there's oodles that can be done with this. Gosh, and maybe I even do, well, let's see how much I've got. So let me grab. Okay, so I'm going to cut. So I'm using the paisley. I found the paisley to have so many different uses. Truly, so many different uses. I'm going to start with the paisley. And I'm going to bring over my die cutting machine. I'm just using my Sizzix Big Shot machine. I do not need a precision base plate. These are all very simple open dies because they were meant to have a stamp to go with them, but they don't have a stamp anymore. Oh, what a shame. Not really. Gosh, not when you can get a $20 die for $3.99 and still have tons to do with it. You're like, but what can you do with that, Stacy? Well, wait. It was kind of like a challenge. It was like, challenge accepted, Stampendous. I'm gonna figure out what to do with these dies. So roll it through once. There's one. And it has a little piece that comes out. And roll it through again. So a die cutting machine takes paper and these little metal dies that have no blade on them at all, and through the pressure of going underneath the roller, cuts the paper for you. Get out my little piece, and oh, I should have cut it backwards, then I would have made a butterfly. Oh, I should have turned it this way. Okay, let's turn it that way. I want to make a butterfly, but I've got pattern paper. So I've got to turn it backwards to get my other pattern out going in the other direction. Stacy. Ha. So I'm going to cut it backwards, because I need it to flip. I need to have two sides of a butterfly. So let's roll it through. Let's roll it through. And you're like, wait a minute, what did you just do? Back it up, girlfriend. Say it again. Okay, there we go. So I originally cut 2 pieces just like that. But I need my butterfly to have 2 wings. For my butterfly to have 2 wings, I need to turn this one over because this die cuts this shape again and again and again, but I needed to cut this one. So all I did was flip my paper over and cut on the back side, which then gives me, put a little body down the center, and I've got a cute little butterfly. Oh, is that darling out of paisley? Hello, paisley. Where's that ink? I think I have a finger dauber somewhere. Well, I'm gonna have one now. So what if I took that ink? Just ink the edges of my butterfly. Just to give them a little more definition. And then put a body down the center. I just have to cut a little oval to put down the center. Look at how cute that paisley is once you do something with it. Darling, right? I mean, it is a paisley, but nobody has to know that that wasn't a perfect little butterfly. So cute. And then I've got the smaller one, this one here, which I can cut. Gosh, I wonder if I can cut that out of there. Let's do that. I think I can get one more backwards. Like maybe by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Think I'll make it. All we can do is try. I'm going to cut one more backwards so that I have 2 sets. Okay, so this one backwards. Just by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 1, 2. Now I'm going to cut this little paisley piece, the smaller paisley, the one that goes right there. I'm going to put that in the center and cut these out. Put that there. See, I've cut up that whole piece now. Bring it back. Send it through. Okay, now I gotta do it that way, so I gotta cut it upside down. So that way it cuts in like that. I'm gonna cut it upside down. Oh my gosh, the paisley is amazing. Wait till you see what the girls did with it. It was like totally challenge accepted. And these are easy dies to run through any die cutting machine, and most of these are going to fit a sidekick. Not all of them, but most of them are going to fit a sidekick. Oh my gosh, how cute. Now I've got another smaller little butterfly. And I've got a bigger butterfly that now has cuts in it that I could take. And cut. Now you can see, look at how pretty is that. I could take this big one and cut it out of here and back it so that you've got the windows looking through. How pretty is this? Now my butterfly has gold. Make it look like a butterfly. Oh, my little piece didn't come out. Okay, I can live with it. Make my butterfly look like a butterfly, and it can have gold wings coming through it. And then I still have this little guy here that I could make into a whole nother butterfly. Look how cute is he? It's all in what you see. Or how cute is that as a whale or a narwhal? How cute, right? Or taking these and lining these up in the same direction and making a beautiful flower. It's all what you, when you see it, what is there that could be something else? It's all about taking these dies and making them something else. What if I just took my mermaid and come on. All I do is cut her. What is going on? Oh, my tape. Tape. Take my mermaid and cut her just out of black. Oh, and then I could do my birdies. What if I just take my mermaid, the silhouette, and I just cut her out of black? Just black paper. And I'm going to cut off her little hair of tendrils just to get rid of it. So it looks like she's just sitting there. Oh, she's so cute. And I just use her silhouette. What if I take, I don't know if it'll work. What if I take this stamp here and I ink this up with like some blue and some green? What's the worst that can happen? We hate it? Is that the worst that can happen? And then maybe some blue. And what if we're going to try and stamp this. I don't know if it's dry enough yet. The paper still feels a little wet. But what if I just take this And let's see if I can get a little bit of an image going on. My paper's still a little wet. Yay. Now it's got the lines going down and it almost looks like seaweed. And I'm making my adventure. Okay, the dies are amazing. It's just how you look at them, how you see them, what you can do with them as silhouettes. And the birds, oh, the birds, I love the birds. What do I have? What do I have that I've done with the birds? Oh, what if I took the bird and I just did the bird out of black? Or do I do the, okay. My mind starts to think, or do I do the bird out of white? I don't know. We'll do it out of both. When can you not use a little birdie? And the birdie can go on the wood grain. I mean, there's just tons that can be done. I can go in there and I could take a little bit. Let's get a pointy one. And let's grab some gold. And let's go ahead and add a little water. And a little more water, kind of ombre him up. And then really gold down at the bottom. And just kind of get him with some color on him. Tons to do, oodles to do, oodles. Maybe a little pink. And maybe a little pink, just a little bit of water. I'm just making my own embellishments. Put a little eye in there. Or I could have kept them just as a silhouette. The girls did great things with the dies, just as silhouettes or adding a little something to them. And if you have somebody who is just starting into die cutting and is on a budget, what an awesome way. And I could shadow him and then put him on something. What an awesome way to get them started so that they have things to play with without investing an arm and a leg. These are so pretty. They're so easy to use. And you get so many things in them that you just have to look just look a little different than what you originally thought. Even all the leaves, how can you go wrong with the flowers and the leaves? I think we have 3 sets of flowers. Yes, they don't have the stamps. That's okay. They're still flowers, and you can scrunch them up and layer them into each other. You can ink them like I'm doing. Oh, look at the cute little, what do I have here? Do I have something kind of, no, everything's kind of, he's not going to look good on there, but the elephant as a silhouette and the lion, they're so cute as a silhouette. I wish I had done something a little cuter, a little younger to put that elephant on. That bird, the bird can just go anywhere, and you can layer the birds. And just have fun. Like I said, do you see a whale swimming through? Do you see a narwhal? Do you see the butterfly come together? From Paisley. Who would have thunk? The shell. I think Elena used the shell as wings for butterflies. Absolutely. Just a ton to do. Boy, I need to keep these kind of together because I don't have anything to show you at the end of what's available. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the lighthouse. Oh, the lighthouse. Let's do the lighthouse super quick. Do the lighthouse in a silhouette. I have definitely made a mess. The girls are going to be like, Stacy. And the paisley. Okay, so now I've got all the dies together. Let's do the lighthouse. You think I got room? No. And let's send it on through. This is like the sample from the beginning. Yeah, this is kind of like the sample that they did. The lighthouse. Could do the rock in the brown. Well, no guts, no glory, right? Should I cut it? I don't know. Oh, I hate being indecisive. All about seeing things in a way that's maybe a little different than what you had anticipated. Using what you have and getting the most out of it. Right? You can do this. Could you imagine this with blues and greens and putting your Oh my gosh, that would look so good with the blues and the greens coming out of it and your mermaid right in the center. Oh. Okay, I think you get the idea. Point is, for the price, you cannot go wrong. Even if you only wanted 1 or 2 out of the set and you give the rest away. Maybe you're buying it for that holly leaf for $3.99. You can't buy that holly leaf as a die anywhere else. You can't. Maybe you're buying this one for the leaf in the vase. I don't know. Maybe you're buying her, not because you love her, but you love the turtle and the dolphin and the fish and the seahorse for $3.99. Holy smokes, artichokes. And these would be so easy to do. They're just flower shapes. I mean, my gosh, absolutely easy to do. So options aplenty. We did so much today, so much. We inked and we die cut and we used mica powders to make beautiful things. And you don't just have to use mica powder on white or black. We lifted ink off the mica powders. We just stamped, making beautiful images, mixing colors, using straight color, just using black. What is it that sparked your creativity? What is it out of all of this that you said, oh, I think I have to do that? We made butterflies. We did. Which way you want up and which way you want down. It's up to you how you tilt it. See, if I tilt it this way, or I can turn it this way and tilt it that way. I have 2 different shapes of butterflies. All right, so was it the land of misfit or was it a match made in heaven? You tell me. You watch the YouTube. You tell me. Let me show you what's on sale. We've got the Ink Essentials, of course, on sale. Whether you buy the whole set or you just need the refill, I've got both of them. No problem. I have got Aussie Andrews mica powders. If you have a perfect pearl, then do you need these? No. They're probably very similar in color. But if you don't have them, then this is a really nice set to start with. And remember, you're going to use the Essentials glue pad and not an embossing medium to go make it go down. And that way everything just doesn't come off. Makes my heart happy. Gosh, even wet, it's still good. That makes my heart happy. Try and get my hand. That's rock star. So mica powders from Couture Creations. There's only 11 colors to choose from. There will be an I Want It All. You have to thank Ozzy Andrew and his staff because they are literally filling the jars themselves. Bless you all, everybody at Couture Creations down in Australia. Thank you for filling the jars for me. I appreciate it. So I think these are $3.99 and then 20% off. Then we have the stamps. So there's 10 different stamps. If you buy the I Want It All, you're going to get all 10 background stamps. All 10 of them for $29.99. Just remember, you're probably not going to get them off one of the liners, but you saw I used them just fine. It's a dented can. Hello. You saw me use them. What a great way to get a fabulous background stamp collection. Even if you split them up between your crafty friends, you all go in and each of you gets 3. And then you rotate them, whatever. Then I have the dies. There is not an I want it all for the dies. There is an I want it all for the stamps, but not for the dies. The dies we have, oh, see, I even forget to show those. Aren't they pretty? So beautiful. Okay, the dies. We have limited quantities of each. Wait till you see the samples. The sample using the elephant is just darling. I love the paisley. I made flowers out of the paisley. I made butterflies out of the paisley. We made a narwhal out of the paisley. I love the paisley. You've got the different flowers. We made darling samples using all the pieces that come with the mermaid. Flowers, the birds. When do you ever go wrong with birds? Look at how cute is the what is that? Is that a, I almost want to say it's a hydrangea, but it's not. What is it? It's a lilac. Okay. And the sunflower. So there's a bunch of different, oh, and the lighthouse. There's a bunch of different sets, and they're regularly $19.99, on sale for $3.99. And then, oh, and then because we used them in a lot of the samples, I'm going to put the Ozzie Andrew, his big words back together again. So I'm going to do these one more time because you're going to see them on a lot of the samples. So I didn't want you to think that, ask what we were using. So these are Ozzie Andrews. They retail for $10. You get so much in each set. They're word sets, and we'll have them on sale for $8. But my gosh, what you get in these sets is, again, it's amazing. But if you're, $8, $3.99, right? $8, $3.99. I think that puts it in perspective. I hope it does. Okay, let's do samples. So let me grab these. Okay, so I showed you the bird. The hello is Ozzie Andrews words for $8. The leaves came out of one of the Stampendous die sets. The bird, so we stamped on the bird with Ozzie Andrews stamp, and then we went in with some of the mica and mica'd it up, and we used the wood background stamp to do the background there. Right? Okay, here's one. Look at how cute the elephant is. Thoughts of you, because the elephant never forgets. Look at how cute is he. Okay, and here, this is an Ozzie Andrew stamp. These are Ozzie Andrew word dies and the Stampendous elephant. Here is one of the birds. So Ozzie Andrews word dies. We did a background with the mica powders, and then the Stampendous, the dies that don't have stamps, but it doesn't need it. That bird looks fabulous. This is a great card. Here we just took, and this is an Ozzie Andrew word, and you get lots of words with his sets. It's not just one. And then I was playing and I made this background, and it's very watery. Very, very watery. But Claire looked at that and said, "Ooh, that looks like me," and look at what she did. So that's with the mica powders. Look at this one. Oh. So you've got thanks on the top. You've got stamped with ink and then spritzed with the mica powder. You can take the mica powder, put it in a mini mister or a mister, a little bit of this, a lot of water, and make your own mica mists. How pretty is that? And here's a lighthouse. Shine brightly, you're a star. Isn't that great? And here's our narwhal. Happy birthday. This is from Ozzie Andrews sets for $8. We made a narwhal out of our paisley. Happy birthday. I just think it looks like a narwhal. But I think Claire, I think his horn needs to go higher. Ooh, is she gonna kill me? Oh, Stacy, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, but it's too late. It's already done. Doesn't his horn need to go higher? I don't know. All right, I'm going to put it back where it belongs and pretend Claire never saw it. But Norwal is so cute. And then look at this. This is the brick background stamp, inked with several different colors. It's always nicer to have a background stamp that's bigger than you need because you can always trim it down. But if you want to do something big, it's harder when your stamp is small. Oh, look it! Oh, that looks good. So here, these are the dots. Ozzie Andrew has a stamp that's kind of like snow falling. There are the dots, and that looks like the sun rays. Oh, that makes my heart happy. Look at how good she looks. Oh, and here, okay, I took the paisley. Well, I cut these, and honorary SMS girl Katie put it together. So she took the paisley and made a flower, almost like a poinsettia in there. And here is Ozzie Andrews' stamped background, just inked. You've got some words, thank you, in his word sets. Here's the flowers. You've got the vase that has been stamped. You've got the flowers that have been layered on top of each other. This one was stamped with Ozzie Andrews' stamp, the little snowfall one. Look at how pretty is that. All of these were done using dies that don't have matching stamps. So I showed you this one in the beginning, using the mica powders on a colored piece of paper, the mountains out of a brown, and then the silhouette of the lighthouse behind it. And I showed you this one earlier. So using the same stamp on two different papers, contrasting. So gold mica powders, golden reds here, silvers up here, to give that beautiful look. And then the elephant, happy birthday. And that's so cute. Love it. We've got the little balloon going through his nose, and the happy birthday is from Ozzie Andrews' $8 set. And then look at this one. The background. The background is the bricks done with the pearl, with the mica. The hello is part of Ozzie Andrews. And then Claire found this perfect piece that just fit right there. That brick background looks great. And see, it's got a mica to it, but it's not bam in your face. It's not whoo. It's whoo. Look at how pretty and subtle is that. And then look at the smile. Look at that stamp. Again, done with the mica powders. The smile is from Ozzie Andrews' word dies. The stamp is perfect, and that's the one that I use. That's this one. It does not look all that and a bag of chips. It really doesn't, but then look at it here, and it looks amazing. Thank you. Done with the mica, and the words cut out. And again, this is another one that I did. I was just playing with the water and getting it really, really wet. But that's with Ozzie Andrews, one of his background stamps. That's the same one that I did here, where I did the white and the black. So this one, I got the stamp really wet. It had residue left over, put the paper down, and this is what came up. And here we have the metal, the little the little, what do they call that? I always think of a tool chest for that. I wonder what they call it. Let's see. Checker plate. Okay, checker plate it is. Reminds me of a guy's tool chest. And this is just done with mica. And all of these little pieces were cut out of a piece of paper. And again, the flowers. So this time they did the sunrise stamp. They did this stamp. And then either they cut their flowers first, or they stamped after, or they stamped first and cut their flowers. But they got the detail in the stamp and the flowers from that stamp right there. And the background is done with the brick. They like that brick background. Oh my gosh, look at how stinking darling is this. So the blue is from the stamp that kind of looks like snow. Came from that one. The green came from the one that I said kind of doesn't look all that, it's kind of a meh. Green came from this one. And then the little seahorses came from a Stampendous die. The one with the mermaid. Isn't that so cute? $3.99 just for the seahorses, and it's worth it. Ah! And then look at how beautiful is this. An honorary SMS girl, Katie. So we went in and specifically kind of colored. She got these little leaves out of one of the die sets, and out of the holly set, and she cut the little leaves off and got rid of the little holly berries to make the leaves to fit there. How beautiful is that? And then this one, we didn't even have a chance to make something. Not even a chance. And then I have two layouts. First one, we have our mermaid down at the bottom of the ocean with her wings. Yes, a mermaid can have wings. We've got the little turtle. We did the background stamp here with the wood. Elena just put that one together super, super fast. The little dolphins are from the set with the mermaid. The turtle's from the set with the mermaid. The wings are from the Paisley set. She has done her mica pigment powder on them. So layout number one, just simple and easy. Layout number two, she made the butterfly using the shell that came with the mermaid, and she stamped on it. Look at the beautiful background. So Elena number two. Claire's like, God bless Elena. She's been knocking out the layouts easy peasy. And they just found this paper that had the butterflies. So she just there's actually a butterfly under there. So she used the body of the butterfly that's under there for the body on this one. And you've got the stamped image and the mica powder. Easy peasy. And then Claire did a mixed media piece. So here you have the paisley for her wings. This is Madame Butterfly. You've got stamped images everywhere from all the different stamps that Ozzie Andrew has. She cut this piece out of probably a Ciao Bella or a Stamperia, and she just laid some acrylic paint down and went to town. And she, even the little crown is from the Paisley set. That Paisley set's a good set. Lots to be done with it. All right. So, did I go off the crafty deep end? I don't know. You tell me. Let me back it up. Is it the Island of Misfit product, or is it a match made in heaven between Stampendous and their They're little leftovers of Oddity dies, and the Couture Creations Oh No product, the dented can product, where it works beautifully. It really does. Those stamps are amazing. You just can't peel them all the way off the back liner, but you saw me use them again and again and again. And you already know, if you're receiving your sets that had the stencils and the die and the stamps, you know that they work just fine. So you tell me, yay, or okay, this was a reach. I don't think it was a reach. I'm really happy with it, because I think that even if you don't, even if all you do is go into your crafty arsenal and pull out things that are comparable to what I showed you, maybe you look at things in a different way. It was put to me, Stacy, I have this, and by one manufacturer, and Stacy, and months later, Stacy, I have this by another manufacturer, that I thought, I wonder if I could get them to work. I wonder, So you'll tell me if I did or not. Be kind in your comments. It's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. I will see all of you next week. Wahoo Kachoo. I hope you had a good time. Where are you going to find all of this? Well, the micas you may already own. I should say that. The micas you may already own. And if you don't, you may be able to find mica powder at your local independent mom and pop shop. Remember, local independent mom and pop shop. The stamps you can only get from us because they're an oops stamps. So he's going to rerun them. When he reruns them, they'll be at full price. Get them now while you can for this price. The dies are what's left from Stampendous. So hopefully it's at a price that makes your heart happy. All right, it's me. I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.